So Verdansk is back. There's already issues. People are loving it, people are hating it, but let's just quickly jump in and dive in and see what the issues are. Myself, I have played it. I do think it's very old school. It's a lot slower than Black Ops 6 with the grounding. It feels just better and smoother in general, even with the Omni movement. But the game itself is decent. They've made the map look really nice with like the graphics, and there's no fog or nothing, and the old sounds and everything, and it feels good. But of course, the servers had issues on the first day. Everything else has been buggy. Battle.net was down. You know, there are still issues there. And let's not forget the core gameplay of COD itself. You know, Black Ops 6 is terrible. And it's been down bad in the blender. And let's just not forget that. You know, I'm happy that Verdansk is back and everyone's enjoying it. And, you know, that old school feeling is back. But being realistic, we all know this is going to be a phase where we have a little bit of fun, we enjoy it, and then it just fizzles out because it's just that nostalgia rose-tinted glasses, realistically. You know, I don't know. I think at this point, they need to do that decision and make Warzone its own thing, because it's all good them making Warzone good again. Sure, like, let's have fun for a little while, but we all know that COD is down so damn bad that, bro, I don't see them fixing it. I've said this for so many months now. I genuinely don't think that they're going to fix multiplayer by, you know, I mean, realistically, by the way, they put everything into this. I've said this before. They put everything into Warzone and everything into Verdansk. That, you know, multiplayer is probably at an all-time low. But that being said, COD has seen the biggest peak of players on at the same time on the Steam charts on Call of Duty in God knows how long. Whole of 2025, it's the highest it's been. 112,000 players at once on the launch of Verdansk, which still in comparison is kind of weak compared to what it used to be back in the day, but sure. But it's better than nothing, I suppose. So, realistically, you know, I give it 2 weeks. I do. I think 2 weeks is enough for people to have that little bit of fun, nostalgia, and, you know, enjoy it, and then be like, yeah, but the game's still kind of arse outside of it, you know, and then they just sort of stop playing it again. I don't know, I could be wrong, but we all know how Activision and Call of Duty like to mess with their stuff. They make something great or good, like they did with Verdansk, like they did with, in my opinion, Blackout, and they just change everything, they ruin it, they don't capitalize on it, and they add too much, and it just turns shit, and it's fucking dreadful, and they ruin it. So, I mean, look at the multiplayer. The multiplayer literally looked like it went up last year, looked like it was doing better, you know, they started to make some good changes, and then once again this year, they've just completely shit the bed with it, and fucking ruined it. But I don't know, bro. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think Verdansk is going to be enough to bring back enough player base for them to, you know, make the changes? Or do you think they even give a shit at this point about the multiplayer? Because, obviously, if you go back and watch any of my videos, you know fine well that they do some shady practices, and they don't care. They really don't care in a lot of it. So, I don't know. Do you see a future where multiplayer becomes... I mean, let's be realistic. Multiplayer COD is what made COD big. You know, that's what is Call of Duty in a way. And when that's down that bad, Warzone also suffers. You know, Warzone suffers when multiplayer suffers when Warzone suffers. And they go hand in hand. So, you know, if more players who, like myself, grew up playing COD and realized multiplayer was sort of fixed, and they just would listen, wouldn't have all these shady practices in, you know, the people would possibly come back and play more, then more players playing. They're like, oh, let me play Warzone, let me try it. But I don't know, man. I don't see that happening. Like I said, I see the state of the game. I see the state of the situation. I see them putting a plaster or a band-aid on a gunshot wound or a fucking shotgun blast or even a fucking 50 cal injury at this point, because COD is bleeding and dying slowly. It has been for a good few years now, and, you know, this year it's really hit its damn peak. We've covered everything about that. If you haven't, go check out my other videos. It has proof and links to all the others, like Blame Truth and Neurocinema and Prime Pete, all them, who are, you know, doing the best to expose it and bring it to its knees, which it needs it. So go check them out if you haven't. But, you know, just enjoy it while it lasts. That's all I want to say. You know, play some Verdansk, enjoy the old days, vibe with it, and hopefully that'll be enough to get you through, but I highly doubt it. But I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. As always, if you are new, drop a sub and a like. It's highly appreciated, and I will catch you in the next one.